Welcome to the video introduction to the Find and Report IDs module inside of the DemandTools Data Quality Suite for Salesforce administrators made by CRM Fusion. The Find and Report IDs module is a high-end comparison tool, probably one of the most sophisticated search technologies for the Salesforce platform. In Find and Report IDs, we can take external data and compare it against the data inside of any Salesforce data object. So for example, you could easily take a Excel spreadsheet of 100,000 accounts and compare it against the accounts in your Salesforce to discover which ones have already been loaded or which ones haven't been loaded. You could take an access database of a bunch of price objects that are changing in your database and use find and report IDs to compare that database against your price tables to find out which objects need their prices updated. Let's take a look at the find and report IDs module. To start the video for the find and report IDs module inside of DemandTools, we're going to start by looking at a spreadsheet. Here you notice I have a small spreadsheet with 30 odd rows of account data on it. I have account names, I have account cities, and I have this field called demo, which has some gold in it. It doesn't really matter what the gold is other than to know that it's really important. Now you can see I have a bunch of account names, so I'll start with the letter V, and I want to import these into the database. What I really want to do is I want to make sure I get this gold into the Salesforce database, but I have a problem. Looking down this spreadsheet, I can tell very easily that most of these accounts, maybe even all of these accounts, might already exist in my Salesforce system. So how do I go about importing them? If I was to use a native Salesforce import tool, I would create duplicates. I would create lots of duplicates, and the duplicate records would only have 3 fields filled out. What I really need to do is I really need to be able to find out if these account names already exist in Salesforce. And if they do exist, I need to know what their account ID is so that I would be able to put the gold on any existing records, and I wouldn't insert those and create dupes. So basically, I'll update any records that I have, and I'll only insert those records that are truly new. The problem is I can't do it with this very unintelligent spreadsheet. So let's use DemandTools to take this unintelligent spreadsheet and give it some Salesforce intelligence. So flipping over into DemandTools, we find the Find and Report IDs module under the Discovery section. The Find and Report IDs module starts with us loading a incoming file. This is the file we just looked at called Find Account ID Demo. It's an Excel file. Notice again our typical array of supported file formats, Excel, both old access and the new million record access, CSV, plus UDL, DSN, ODBC database connectors, giving you a full range of incoming file format options. Here, opening up the Excel spreadsheet and its account worksheet. Here are the 36 records that we saw in Excel. We could use the Find and Report IDs module here to compare that spreadsheet against any data in Salesforce. Accounts, contacts, leads, custom objects, price books, it's useful for any of them. Here in this case, we are comparing against the account object. The first thing we have to choose is if we find information that is, or if we find records that are in the spreadsheet that are also in Salesforce, what information about the existing Salesforce records do you want to know? Well, the first thing that's important for me to know is the object ID, that 15 or 18 digit unique ID, so that I will know where in the database the existing records are. Let's bring down some proof that they are a dupe by bringing down their account names and then all of their billing information. We show off the tool's capability by even pulling some multi-table data here. Let's go and find out if it has a parent account and give me its parent account number, and also give me the owner's address. If there happens to be a parent account, give me the owner's email address. The Find Report IDs module easily can pull multiple table data. On to step 2, where the first question at the top is our where condition. We know we're comparing your Excel spreadsheet against the accounts in Salesforce, but which accounts in Salesforce? You might just want to compare this against a subset, the accounts in the United States, the accounts in Ohio, whatever that subset is. Not too, all of the people on my spreadsheet had the account names that all started with the letter V. So for the sake of demo time here, I'm only going to compare against the accounts in my database that also start with the letter V. Down at the bottom is where we develop match steps to do the comparison between the external Excel spreadsheet and the Salesforce database. We start with the button called Add a Mapping Condition, and these of course are the three columns from the Excel spreadsheet. The name column in the spreadsheet would match the Salesforce field called account name. And would we match this exactly? No, we will use the built-in matching algorithms that are in all of our tools to use our cleaned account name matching algorithm. This will use the account cleaning list, a three-step process where we teach the deduper the world of synonyms, business suffixes, business prefixes, in an effort to water the account names down to their lowest common denominator for comparison's sake. We're also going to apply a fuzzy phonetics engine. We will not only bring the account name to its lowest common denominator cleaned name, but we'll also put that cleaned name through a fuzzy phonetics analyzer where we'll drop the vowels and analyze the sound of the remaining consonants to see if it matches similar sounding consonant strings in the database. We're also going to apply a transpositional engine so that the word order inside of the account name doesn't matter, and an alpha cleaner to make sure that any extraneous objects aren't analyzed. By using the four of these technologies together, we can match things like the Hewlett-Packard Corporation of America duping to the Hewlett-Packard Company and Hewlett-Packard Limited and Pickett-Howlett International and a bunch of other advanced matching techniques. We're also going to match on the billing city. The billing city, of course, would match the Salesforce field of the same name. We'll match it exactly, but we'll turn on the fuzzy engine to catch any spelling mistakes. This is a single match step. If I wanted to, I could add additional match steps. That's why there's this real estate here. Some of our customers would fill this real estate with 6 or 7 different match steps, comparing the Excel spreadsheet against their Salesforce objects multiple ways, looking for matches. For today's web demo, good enough. Let's go on to step 3, where now we have the button called Find Matches. And we will, first of all, download the applicable records from the Salesforce database, just to over 2,500 of them, compare them against the spreadsheet, and show this resulting result sheet. Let's just clean this up a little bit. The first columns here, name, city, and gold, right? Recognize them from the Excel spreadsheet. The first record, Vacuum Firm Industries Ltd. in Columbus, appears to match one record uniquely in Salesforce. The record it matches is this record called Vacuum Form Industries in Columbus, of course. Click on the object ID and we will display to you our typical dialog box that shows a field by field view of the record, a sub-object discovery window, oops, a little pop-up from Salesforce, a sub-object discovery window that would allow us to drill down through sub-objects, and then Salesforce serves us up this HTML rendition of the object as well. And we can basically go through these. Vatican Refrigeration Incorporated in Euclid, duped with Vatican Refrigeration Incorporated in Euclid, and so on and so forth. You can scroll down and see some of them, like Value Stores Incorporated here, appear to have no matches. The goal of the Find and Report ID module, we actually haven't done anything. All we did is we took spreadsheet, we compared it against Salesforce, and we came up with a resulting spreadsheet. So I'm going to export out the spreadsheet here. I'll export it out and give it a name that makes some sense, and we'll export that database out, or actually export that spreadsheet. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet we're just exporting here. And you can see the first columns here, A, B, and C, are the original columns from our original spreadsheet. What we did is we took that very unintelligent spreadsheet, put it through the Find IDs module to add this Salesforce intelligence to it. So we can see quite easily right now that this is a report of all of the ones that did match. We have the original data, plus we have their unique Salesforce locations in the database and the other information we asked for. So obviously now you could take the data loader of your choice, like our Mass Effect module, and go into an update operation where you could say, update these object IDs and put this gold directly onto those records, because we have basically done that external vlookup command comparing the Excel spreadsheet against the data. We know which ones match and which ones don't. If we were to go back into DemandTools, there's also another spreadsheet that's being given to us here. The other spreadsheet is this much shorter list, the records that didn't match. So according to this, there was 5 different records that didn't match. They have no intelligence regarding Salesforce to them, so those are just the original records back, and they're going to need additional processing or actual inserting into the database as new objects. Again, this is a scenario-driven module like the rest of the modules in DemandTools, so the actual job of comparing external files against Salesforce data can actually be done in an automated way. It's not unusual to have a scenario maybe coming out of a different module that creates a file, taking this file to compare it, and then using the results of this file somewhere else in a data quality process down the stream in your other scenarios that are running in the automated fashion. So we'll wrap this up. This is Find and Report IDs in the DemandTools suite by CRM Fusion for Salesforce administrators. And the purpose of this is to compare external data to data that's already in a Salesforce database, figuring out which objects have already been brought into Salesforce and where they are by their object ID. Thanks very much for your attention.